Inside Kim Kardashian's star-studded 45th birthday bash in London, a night draped in light, secrets, and stardust. Burlesque performers lit up the night with flair and fun, dancing barefoot under sparkling lights, showing us that glamour is all about stirring things up, not just looking pretty. The world might know Kim as a brand, an icon, or even a billionaire shaped by the cameras. But tonight, under those stunning chandeliers made of fractured glass, she transformed into something even rarer. She was a woman celebrating the sheer audacity of existing in her own legend. Isn't that something? But just behind those wrought iron gates and ivy-wrapped stone, a more exclusive vibe was unfolding. The soft thump of bass mingling with laughter, the gentle rustle of silk gowns gliding over marble, creating an intimate symphony that only the world's most photographed woman could orchestrate. It was Kim Kardashian's 45th birthday, and it felt like time itself hit pause, dressing up just for this special occasion. Burlesque performers lit up the night with flair and fun, dancing barefoot under sparkling lights, showing us that glamour is all about stirring things up, not just looking pretty. Burlesque performers, both elegant and daring, painted the night with a splash of rouge and a dash of rebellion. They danced barefoot beneath the sparkling crystal lights, reminding us all that glamour was meant to provoke, not just beautify. Can you feel the energy? It's like the whole atmosphere was alive, right? The world might know Kim as a brand, an icon, or even a billionaire shaped by the cameras. But tonight, under those stunning chandeliers made of fractured glass, she transformed into something even rarer. She was a woman celebrating the sheer audacity of existing in her own legend. Isn't that something? The London premiere that set the stage. Earlier that evening, Kim stood at the center of London's cultural heartbeat for the premiere of her new Hulu series, All's Fair. The cameras caught her every movement, the poise of a queen, the warmth of a mother, the quiet iconography of someone who has turned vulnerability into art. She arrived in a gown of liquid gold, a silhouette that seemed to glide rather than walk, and the city responded in kind. Photographers shouted her name, flashes erupted like celestial fireworks, and the air trembled with the recognition that 45 could look this magnificent. But as the event closed and the red carpet was rolled away, Kim's night was only just beginning. A more intimate world awaited within the home of Mert Alas, photographer of muses, keeper of secrets, and conjurer of atmospheres where beauty becomes myth. A house where fashion meets reverie. Mert Alas' London home glowed like a jewel box from another dimension. The walls were draped in velvet shadows, mirrors caught the flicker of candles, and classical sculptures watched over the dance floor like silent conspirators. There was no stage, no strict choreography. The night unfolded freely, like silk spilling out of a designer's hands. Guests arrived quietly first, then in waves of perfume and laughter. Naomi Watts, wrapped in sleek understatement. Sarah Paulson, all sharp brilliance and wit. Kate Moss, still the eternal muse with eyes like Parisian twilight. Kris Jenner, the matriarch of empire, glimmered in black sequins, the orchestrator smiling as the empire she helped build shimmered around her. Nobody here was a stranger to fame, yet inside this house it seemed to dissolve, replaced by a kindred recognition that luxury is not wealth alone, but the rare belonging among those who carry both light and scars. Kim's entrance. A moment reimagined. When Kim arrived, the evening shifted. She stepped through the entrance as though the world exhaled. The paparazzi were miles away, but their ghosts lingered in the sparkle of her dress, sheer enough to whisper, structured enough to command. A change of outfit, of course. For Kim, transformation is both ritual and rebellion. A reminder that she doesn't wear clothes, she wields them. The room fell briefly silent. It always does when the muse enters her own mythology. And yet she smiled in that disarming way, a warmth that melted the hauteur. Hugs replaced applause, kisses brushed cheeks, and laughter dispersed the spectacle into intimacy. For a woman whose life is public domain, this was sanctuary. The music of midnight. Burlesque performers lit up the night with flair and fun, dancing barefoot under sparkling lights, showing us that glamour is all about stirring things up, not just looking pretty. Burlesque performers lit up the night with flair and fun, dancing barefoot under sparkling lights, showing us that glamour is all about stirring things up, not just looking pretty. Can you feel the energy? It's like the whole atmosphere was alive, right? Kim cheered from her velvet seat, the flicker of candlelight catching her diamond cuffs. At times, she leaned in close to Sarah Paulson, exchanging that conspiratorial laughter that only friendship forged in fame can carry. Part exhaustion, part inside joke, part survival. Kate Moss, ever ethereal, smoked by an open balcony, her silhouette all smoke and divinity. There were no official speeches, no grand toasts. Every guest celebrated her in fragments, in a shared memory, in an admiring glance, in the simple act of being there. The birthday girl didn't need a crown or spotlight. She already carried one inside her skin. Underneath the stardust, a woman reflects. Between songs, moments slowed. Those rare pauses when time retreats and reality feels soft. Kim stood near a window, London's skyline glittering beyond the glass. Perhaps she thought of how far she'd come, from Calabasas beginnings to global dominion. Or perhaps she just felt the hum of gratitude, the strange calm of reaching a milestone while the world still watched. 45 is no longer about proof. It's about presence. She's moved through decades of reinvention, mother, mogul, advocate, muse, and each identity has sheared away a piece of her, leaving behind only what endures. In that candlelight, she didn't seem like the world's most famous woman. She seemed like someone who had finally learned the luxury of stillness. And yet there was mischief too. She loves the spectacle not out of vanity, but out of art. Kim learned long ago that existence itself can be performance. And tonight, every detail, every guest, every note of music played perfectly in key with that truth. The circle around. Her Naomi and Kate chatted in corners, their laughter low and knowing, women who have seen fame from every angle. Sarah Paulson's voice carried stories that made people lean in, the kind of voice that could slice or soothe in equal measure. Kris Jenner moved through the crowd like quiet royalty, nodding here, clinking glasses there, the unseen hand still shaping narrative out of chaos. Her eyes often found her daughter across the room, and there it was, pride, unmistakable, and deeply earned. Everywhere you looked, beauty reigned. But not just surface beauty, the kind that comes with resilience, experience, faith in reinvention. It was a room full of legends in midlife, women who once defined the era's aesthetic, now defining what it means to age in command. After midnight, the party shifts. As the clock crept toward 1, the crowd loosened. Shoes were abandoned, laughter grew unchecked. Some danced barefoot to old R&B, swaying under a sky that smelled of London rain. Others slipped into corners lit only by mobile phone glow, sharing photos of children, distant vacations, ideas for what comes next. Kim, ever gracious, slid through it all, a magnet of calm amid the glitter. She is known to command attention, but those who have stood close know her real magic lies in making others feel seen. Stars need oxygen too, and hers comes from connection. When she finally joined the dance floor, the room erupted again. Her moves weren't choreographed or filtered. They were playful, full-hearted, slightly awkward in the most charming way. For all her composure, she has always danced like no one is filming, though someone always is. Dawn of a new decade of glamour. By the time morning tinted the city rose gold, Mert's house had become a quiet hum. The gin was gone, the laughter reduced to whispers, makeup slightly smudged, yet still magnificent. Kim stood near the doorway, the first light painting her face in something fragile and divine. 45 isn't the age of ending. For a woman like Kim Kardashian, it's an apex, the summit of a mountain she built herself. She doesn't chase youth. She redefines it, trapping it in amber and intellect. Each success, each heartbreak, each enigmatic smile becomes the fabric of a story that refuses to fade. The guests departed one by one, echoing farewells into the London quiet. Kate Moss wrapped her coat and vanished into the mist. Sarah Paulson waved, promising to call. Kris pressed a kiss to her daughter's cheek, proud, protective, knowing this was not just a party but a proclamation. Kim doesn't just live beautifully, she curates beauty itself. And as the front door closed behind the last guest, the music finally stilled. All that remained was the faint scent of perfume and gin, the whisper of laughter along marble, and the sense that this moment in London would linger. A page in the ever-evolving portrait of a woman who long ago stopped being simply famous and became something much rarer, iconic.